Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about my school and my targeted school improvement plan. For me, as an instructional coach, these are things that I'm very familiar with, things that I've done in the past. I take great joy in actually trying to improve the school, not only for the teachers, but for student outcomes. They're just trying to make the school be very successful overall. The reason that I chose the area that I chose is because of course, being an academic coach and dealing with math, some of the things that I typically see in the middle school level is that manipulatives is not something that is not often used as much as the elementary level. A lot of students lack may lack just a foundational piece. So sometimes putting manipulatives in place helps students to with or it's like concrete examples and different things like that, just to help students develop a more deeper understanding of what they're actually doing versus just solving the problems. And so who I would most likely work with would definitely be the math teachers across grade levels. I currently serve in 6 through 8. Me as the instructional coach, and also with the assistant principal or the whatever administrator is overseeing the math department. These will serve just as our primary structure for collaboration. Just like for our PLC, we will analyze data, plan lessons, share our strategies, and reflect on our instructional practices. The goal of this plan will just basically just to improve both instructional practices and student outcomes, increase and consistent use of manipulatives in math instruction, improve student conceptual understanding of mathematics. That would just be the foundation of what we would be trying to do, and also teach the middle school teachers how to dig deeper into their math, their math tool bag, just to show them how they can actually become not only a better teacher, but reach students at a different level by using differentiation from things through like manipulatives at the current time. Our desired outcomes for this plan would be just increasing the consistent use of manipulatives in math instruction, and of course, always to improve student data. We want to get students to achieving at the highest level, not only for their current assessment data, but for their life outside of school. The more students know how to piece things together, math is one of the things that can help students bridge gaps through all areas of their life. When it comes to like number sense and reasoning, these are things that are going to carry over for the students for the rest of their life. And also just stronger alignment between the team with lesson planning and instruction and assessments, and how they can help students be successful overall. Anytime you're implementing something, there's always going to be potential barriers. Sometimes in schools, the most common things that I've ran into, especially with implementing things like this, is just teacher resistance. And it often comes from teachers just not being comfortable. When teachers aren't comfortable, sometimes they're very resistant. They're used to doing things a certain way like they've always done in the past. But as an instructional coach, it is my job to make sure the teachers have support, have resources, and have everything that they need to be successful at that time. Another potential barrier would just be time constraints. In the middle school setting, things go very, very fast, which is why some teachers do pull away to manipulatives and just kind of go to direct instruction or independent practice. And lately, maybe do more of small group. In most middle school classes are, unless it's block schedule, they're only 50 minutes. So time goes very fast. Also, resource availability. Every school doesn't have the same amount of resources as each. I will say COP has done a great job of providing the resources for most of the schools that I've been at. And so we're able to implement manipulatives at a very high rate. And another barrier would just be inconsistency. Sometimes when you're planning with your PLC, you may forget to implement these things as far as like planning them out so they can be implemented within the class. But as an instructional coach, that would be something that I would take the initiative to make sure that that's a barrier that can be tackled. With that. And monitoring. You have to monitor consistently just to make sure results are being consistent. And when you're monitoring that way, you can see where you need to make changes and make adjustments. So these are some things that I can just see, that could potentially be in the way. But overall, this is something that, I would love to do consistently and implement with my team. Like I say, the desired outcomes, sometimes they're not always what you exactly look for, but if there's student growth, I always try to say a plan is successful, even if you don't hit the same mark if you don't hit 100% of the mark that you were looking for. But if students have grown and found a way to become more successful in mathematics, not only in their life, but also in their assessment data, I think that's a win for everybody involved. Thank you.